Okay, so today you're going to be working on this multiplication on a number line packet. And we introduced this topic last week, but I'm going to go over this with you today because we haven't done it very much. And I want to help you as you get started. So if you take a look at the directions, it says fill in the blanks. So we're going to be filling in these blanks right here. Then draw the jumps on the number line to find the product. Just in case you don't remember, because we haven't talked about it too much, the word product means the answer to a multiplication problem. So I'm going to write that here for you as a reminder that the product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Whenever you hear that word, you know that you're going to be multiplying. Now, we're not going to fill in the product yet because we're going to wait until after we use our number line and we jump on our number line to help us find that product. But we are going to fill these blanks in. So 5 times 2, as we know, means 5 groups of 2. And we've talked about that a lot. So 5 groups of 2 means that we are going to count by 2s 5 times. So on my number line, I always start at 0 and I go to 2 because I'm going to count by 2s. That's my first group of 2. So I make a little hop. I like to box or circle my number that I landed on so that I can see how many times I've counted by that number. That's one group of 2 right there. Now I need another group of 2. So I have 2 and I'm going to skip count 2 more. 1, 2. I'm going to land right here. So I'm going to hop. That's my second group of 2. Remember, we need 5 groups of 2. So I'm going to skip count 2 more numbers. 1, 2. That's my third group of 2. 1, 2 more. That's my fourth group of 2. And I need one more group of 2 because we're going for 5 groups of 2. 1, 2. 5 groups of 2 gets me to 10, which is my answer. I skip counted by 2s 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times 2 equals 10. So that's how we can use the number line to help us multiply. Let's try another one together. Next down here. So 3 times 6. I'm going to give you a minute to fill in what numbers you think go here, and then you're going to see if it matches what I fill in. So how many groups of how many would fit there? Try it on your paper. Okay, hopefully you filled in 3 groups of 6 because 3 times 6 is 3 groups of 6. That means that I'm counting by 6 3 times because there are 3 groups of 6s. So on my number line, I always start at 0 and I would go to 6 because I'm counting by 6. That's my first group of 6. Now I need to count 6 more to get another group of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would land on 12. So I'm going to hop over to 12. That's my second group of 6. I'm going to pause for a minute and I want to see if you can try to do the next group of 6. You need one more group of 6 and see what number you would land on. And then I'll show you and you can check your answer with mine. Okay, So now let's see if you got it right. So I'm going to go for my third group of 6. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I should land on 18. Make sure you draw that you hopped over from the 12 to the 18 because you're hopping over by 6s. And that's your third group of 6. This is 1 group of 6, 2 group of 6s, and 3 group of 6. 3 groups of 6s. Sorry about that. So 3 groups of 6 equals 18. 18 is the product of 3 times 6. It's the answer to the multiplication problem. It helps me to number each of my groups to show how many times I've counted by that number so that I can keep track. That's why I put these numbers above each group that I'm counting by. You're going to do the rest. You're going to do this one as well, and then you're going to do the back of this sheet the same way we did it together. I'll give you a little hint here for this one just to get you going. 2 times 7. I want you to be thinking of what goes here and what goes here. So try that first. So you should be able to show that this is 2 groups of 7. And what that means is you're going to count by 7s 2 times. So you're going to go to the 7, that's 1 group of 7. And then you're going to count 7 more and see what you land on because you're looking for 2 groups of 7. Don't forget to put your product on the line after you find your answer. You're going to want to pause this video at this point so that you can finish this problem, and then you can turn it over and do all of the problems on the back. When you finish this bottom problem and all of the problems on the back, and you get to the page where you see all of the jumps done for you already, but no numbers filled in, then you're going to stop and you're going to play the video from there again so that I can show you how to do it. So at this point, please pause and play the video again when you get to this page. Okay. So at this page, you should have already done the very first page and the back of the first page, and now you're on this page where you see they've done the hopping for you, but they haven't filled in any of the numbers. We have to figure out how many groups there are and how many of each group. So the directions say fill in the blanks and write the multiplication sentence that is shown on the number line. So we're looking to figure out how many groups there are and how many of each group. So let's take a look. We started at 0 when we first landed on 7. So that tells me right away that I'm counting by 7s. So I'm going to have groups of 7. I know that for sure. I don't know how many groups of 7 I have yet until I figure that out. This is my first group of 7. This is my second group of 7. And I can even show that 2 groups of 7 would be 14. This is my third group of 7, and that would be 21. And this is my fourth group of 7. And you can see what you land on, which is 28. So this number line shows 4 groups of 7, because we're counting by 7s each time, and we did it 4 times. And when you do that, it's the same as multiplying 4 times 7. And as you can see, 4 groups of 7 equals 28. That is my product. 4 times 7 is 28. Now, let's try another one. I'm going to guide you, but I'm going to ask that you try part of it, and then we can see if you're right. So let's take a look at this next one. We need to figure out how many groups there are and how many are in each group. So if you look at the bottom here, we're starting at 0 and we're landing on 5 first. So this tells me that I'm counting by 5s. So I know that each of my group is going to have 5 in it. So we have groups of 5. We know that we have groups of 5. We have to figure out how many groups of 5 we have. I want you to see if you can figure out how many groups of 5 there are and write that number here, and then we'll see if you're correct. Go ahead and try that. Okay, so let's see. This is one group of 5 right here. This is 2 groups of 5, and I land on 10. 3 groups of 5, and I land on 15. 4 groups of 5, and I land on 20. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 5. I can write that down here. And 4 groups of 5. I want you to write down what that means. What would that mean as a multiplication sentence? What times what? Try it on your own. Okay, you should have written that that means 4 times 5, 4 groups of 5. And see if you can figure out what the product of 4 times 5 is. You can write it down. Four times 5 equals 20. Because when I multiply 5 4 times, I land on 20. Now, you should be able to do the rest of these on your own. Remember to see what they're counting by each time and how many groups there are to help you figure out what to fill in the blanks. And then whatever the final number is that it lands on, that becomes your product. Go ahead and make sure that you finish the rest of it on your own. Check that you've completed all of the pages of the packet, and then please make sure that your name is at the top of the first page before you turn these in. And then please turn it into the math tray, the black in the black tray, the second from the bottom. Okay? Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.